Hello everyone, welcome to the next video of learning essay writing from toppers copy. So in this video, we will discuss an essay written by Gautam Vivekanandan who scored 149 marks in essay paper. And he says that why do I think I secured 149 in essay paper. So what strategies, what approach he used to follow while writing the essay. So let us see some of the points. So he says I try to write as many relevant and diverse example as possible, right? Then see this, right at the onset I mentioned my interpretation of the topic. So what he is doing, he is deciphering the topic, he is decoding the topic of the essay, and he is writing the interpretation or meaning of the topic in the beginning itself. Thereafter my attempt was to expand the same and cover as many dimension as possible. So you also need to write as many dimension as possible. And I didn't stick to any template for the essay. Template means pastel approach and all. So he says my essay was basically free flowing. So free flowing essay can fetch some extra marks. I try to start and end on a high note. So what is this high note? It means he is saying that I started by using a quote or an anecdote or a story, and his conclusion is also on the high note. So we'll see how he is using this strategy and approach in his essay writing. And one more thing, he gives a thumb rule which he says I followed. So whatever one has experienced or gone through in life, whatever one has read or heard, all of that could be utilized in your essay writing. So basically your life experiences, learnings, you can write in your essay paper. If you have heard about some poems, some songs, some movies you have watched, you can definitely write in your essay paper. The only thing which is important that whatever you are writing should be relevant. So an essay is the only paper where there is a no fixed syllabus and where there is lot of opportunity to express yourself. So use that opportunity to the fullest. So now let us see how Gautam Vivekanandan has written this essay. There is no path to happiness and happiness is the path. And this question or this topic has been asked by UPSC in 2024 essay paper. So let us see how he is introducing. Two roads diverged in a wood and I took the one less traveled by, and that has made all the difference. Robert Frost. So he has introduced his essay on a high note, that is using a quote. So he said that I try to start on a high note using quote or anecdote. So here in this essay topic he is using the quote of Robert Frost. And now see, these wonderful lines by Robert Frost pose a peculiar question. Is the road less traveled the road to happiness, or is it the path of happiness? Right? So now he is posing some question. He is trying to connect these these lines, these poems with the topic of the essay. And now see, in other words, is happiness a way of life? Whether happiness is a means to some end, or is there a path to happiness? So if we are happy, can we achieve some larger goal and larger end, or is there a path, is there some means to achieve the happiness? So is happiness the end goal? So this is what he has interpreted. So this is his interpretation of the essay, and he has written his interpretation at the very onset, at the very beginning, or in the very first page, right? So this is what he said, I followed this kind of strategy while writing the essay. Now let us move ahead. However, so this is the connector. Before answering those questions, it is important to understand what happiness truly is, and also the reason why it is important to be happy. So now he will define what is happiness and why we need to be happy. So happiness in simple terms means a mental and psychological state of being joyful, grateful and carefree. So he has defined the happiness. Just imagine the picture of a baby smiling and giggling in front of its mother. That is the state of happiness, pure innocent bliss. So what is this example of baby showing? It is mean you are observing, your observation, right? You might have seen some baby giggling, smiling in front of its mother. So that is the observation or that is the experiences, or that is the learning from the life, which you can quote or which you can write in your essay, right? So moreover, this is the connector. So there is a flow between two paras, happiness being a state of mind. So happiness is a state of mind, and it is not itself visible. It expresses itself through various actions or behavior. So your happiness will be visible through your action or behavior. For example, how a person who is content with what they have and is yet optimistic of a better tomorrow can said to be happy. Suppose at present you are owning a Wagoner car and you are content. It means you are happy with your car and you are happy with your life. But you are also optimistic. You are also thinking of a better future. That after 5 years or 5 years down the line, I will own a Fortuner or a BMW. So thinking for a better future is not a bad idea. It is a good idea. We should always think about growth in life, and that is the optimism we need, right? So if there is optimism, if we are content with the present and we are optimistic of a better future, it means we are happy. Similarly, someone who does not dwell too much upon the past and lives in the present moment is a happy person. If you are not thinking too much about your past relationship, past failures and all, you could not clear some examination, it means you are not thinking too much about them, it means you are a happy person. The biblical figures of Adam and Eve getting up every day, thanking God for their existence and carrying out their duties represent the state of happiness. So here he is writing the theory part, and by using the Adam and Eve, he is giving the example, giving the Adam and Eve example. Now as to the question of why it is important to be happy, the answer is simple. Now he is addressing the second question which he posed, that why we need to be happy. The answer is simple. In the time scale of this vast cosmos, the life of human is but a brief existence. So our stay on this planet is temporary. So for a temporary period, we will be staying on the earth, right? So people are mere sojourners. So if you are writing some catchy word, catchy phrases, please do underline. In this transitory world, and therefore to make the most out of life, it is important to be happy. So enjoy the moment, enjoy the life, because your stay is temporary. You are not going to live forever on this earth or on this planet. Moreover, happiness serves the purpose. There are other purposes which happiness serves. What are those other purpose? Happiness is key in understanding the purpose of life. So if you are happy, you can understand what is the purpose of your life. So only happy mind can forego unwanted thoughts. You can do away with the unwanted thoughts or negative thoughts, and you can focus on what is truly important for you or in your life. Having said that, so this is the connector, this is the connector. The question returns to the table: is there a path to happiness, or is happiness itself the path? So trying to, now he is trying to address the demand of the question. So firstly he talked about what is happiness, why we need to be happy, and then he is coming to the main demand of the question, or the question statement, the path to happiness. The concept of path to happiness, see happiness as an end goal. So there is a certain path which if we follow this path, we will reach or we will achieve happiness, or we will be happy. And to reach this end goal, there are several check boxes. So there are several check boxes which needs to be ticked. If these boxes are ticked, we will be happy. So what are those check boxes, what we need to do? So to start with or to begin with, so this is the connector to maintain the flow between two paragraphs or two paras. Optimism. So optimism is a key to happiness. So the attitude of considering the glass half full is what helps one in being happy. So if your attitude is positive, if you are optimistic, you will be happy. In her book Wise and Otherwise, Sri Sudha Murthy stresses upon this very fact: think positive, be happy. So here he is writing theory, and here he is quoting some examples, some books, some authors, philosopher, etc. So think positive, be happy is what she says. For happiness has no place for pessimism. So if your attitude is negative, if your attitude is negative, if you are pessimistic person, you can't be happy. Next, so connector. There is wonderful philosophy known as carpe diem. It means seize the moment, live in the present, and make the most out of the present. So relentlessly worrying about the past and the future is of no use. If you are thinking too much about the past, what will happen in the future, and why I failed in that particular examination last year, will I be able to clear the exam next year? So if you're thinking too much about these past and future, it is of no help, no use. In fact, it will create certain obstacle or hurdles in the path of happiness. Somewhat similar is the concept that Nobel Prize winner T.S. Eliot put forth in Burnt Norton. According to him, finding happiness is like finding a still point. So if you want to find happiness, you have to find a still point in this continuously moving world. So world is continuously moving, continuously changing, and you have to find the static still point. You have to take a pause, right? So using T.S. Eliot's theory, right? To take a pause from mundane life, appreciate the beauty around, that will surely lead to happiness. Additionally, so this is the next connector. So you use different type of connector, following one's dream and passion. If you are following your dream, passion of becoming, suppose, IAS officer or IPS officer, something like that, that brings true happiness, or becoming doctor or engineer. So in this money minded world, ironically, money alone does not bring happiness. So if you are money minded, money cannot bring you happiness. Only money cannot bring you happiness, because you just imagine, he is giving an example, there is a wealthy billionaire who has no friends or a social life. That is not happiness, that is characteristics of happy life. So if you are a billionaire who has no friend, no social life, it means you are not happy, but you are lonely. Another important aspect, so this is the another connector to ensure the flow between two paragraphs. Another important aspect is being physically and mentally fit. Health is wealth, they say, but health is also happiness. Health is wealth, this is the quote every one of us know, but health is also happiness. This is what we call as improvisation. So you also need to improvise. If you know some certain quotes, you can use as per your understanding. You can improvise upon them, you can write them as per the demand of the essay. So it is so because good health and well-being brings mental peace and satisfaction, and if there is a mental peace, it means you are happy. Because as per theories of Freud, mental peace and psychological well-being is undeniably important to be happy. So he is using theories of Freud and all. All that being said, so this is the next connector. You see, he is using different kind of connector in his essay to ensure the better flows between and better flow and connectivity between two different paragraphs. All that being said, can happiness truly be achieved without being happy in the first place? Now he's slowly or gradually coming to address the second part of that essay topic. That is, happiness seems to be superimposed and therefore exists both as a path as well as an end goal. So he says happiness can be a path, or happiness can be also an end goal. So happiness can have dual nature. So it seems to be a paradox. It may sound a paradox to us, however, it is true. It appears to be true. Well, if light can have dual nature, why cannot happiness exist in two states or as two states? So he is using his understanding of science, right? That light has a dual nature, particle nature and wave like character, right? So in a similar manner, happiness can also exist in two states. Why not? Happiness as the path. So happiness as the path, this concept means happiness is means to achieve some end goal. So if you follow this path, if you are happy, you will achieve the larger goal, some end goal. So being happy means you can achieve many things in life, because the end goal or purpose of life is no means limited. It varies from person to person. It can vary from person to person. For example, happiness can be a part to have a meaningful life. Now what is meaningful life? It refers to a life where one is able to understand the purpose of their existence and is able to take actions in order to fulfill that purpose. Our life begins when we are born, but it truly begins the day we realize the why we were born. What is the purpose of our life, right? Furthermore, so one more connector. So different connector he is using, please remember this, and you can copy paste. Happiness is the key to make great strides both in personal and professional life. This is because a happy person is always open to challenges and face them head on. There is no point in sulking in misery or blaming cruel fate. Happiness teaches one that one's fate is in their own hand. It matters not what happened earlier. All that matters is what and how one proceeds in the present. Smiling at the face of problem solves half the problem. If you are facing some adversity and you are smiling and saying to the adversity, let us see how powerful you are. Let us see whether you can break me or not. I will keep on fighting, and I am going to smile. I am going to laugh on the problems, right? So your half of the problems will solve. Such is the magnificence of happiness. So if you are happy, even if you are in problems, if you are happy, you will be able to overcome those problems, those issues, those challenges of life. At the societal or national level, happiness is important for having a peaceful community which coexist together, because without happiness the condition would be ripe for hatred and violence. So if there is no happiness in the society, there will be hatred and violence, right? Moreover, love and happiness are what bind the society together. It helps in building meaningful social relation and friends. A happy person always wishes to share their happiness. This results in kind and noble acts such as charity, altruism, and philanthropy. This in turn helps the society to progress with improved standard of living for all. By this point, see another connector. It is quite evident that dichotomy of happiness means dual nature, as the path and as an end could be a reality. However, in any case, remembering the words of Dr. Kalam, when there is happiness in the heart, there is harmony in the home, and when there is harmony in the home, there is peace in the society. So use beautiful use of the code, appropriate use of the code, right? So you have to use the quote in your essay, but it should be used at a very appropriate place. You should use it wisely. It should not be the case you are writing multiple quotes, multiple poems, without any application of mind. So that will not fetch you any good marks. That will not fetch you good marks. One can understand that, be it as a way of life, whether happiness is a way of life or as an end goal, happiness is the key. Perhaps the road taken by Robert Frost too was a combination of both. Now, this is the high note. He is concluding on the high note. He started with the poem of Robert Frost, the road he has taken, the road which is less traveled. So he is saying that the road taken by Robert Frost was a combination of both. That happiness is the path, or happiness, there is a path to happiness, right? So this is how we need to learn from toppers answer script. We can extract some quotes from their copy, we can extract some example, and also most importantly connector. Isme you can see there are many connector and different connector for each paragraphs. So there is beautiful flow in the essay. Essay will keep the examiner intrigued. Examiner will be thinking what next. So he will find it interesting. If you make your essay interesting to the examiner, you will get good marks. So this is all for this video. Keep learning, keep watching. All the best.